And what's up, guys? Duval LeBlanc here, back with another Azure video. Were you surprised? No. So this one, we're going to go over Azure Core Architecture. So I hope you guys are having a great week. Today, like I said in my intro, we're going to go over the Azure Core Architecture components and stuff. So one thing I want to say though as well, since I'm doing YouTube, it would really help if you guys, after you like, just write a comment saying, hey, I enjoyed your video, or hey, thanks for this content, or whatever it is, because when you comment, it assists in adding my YouTube to the algorithm. I'm trying to first get a couple of videos up before I start marketing it, but the comments assist. So if you guys would go ahead and just say, hey, even if you didn't watch the whole video or you didn't care for it, just say something, it really helps. So anyway, with that being said, let's start with this video. All right, so as you can see, I got Microsoft Learn open, and we are already open to the Microsoft Azure Fundamentals, Describe Azure Architecture and Services. So basically in this part, so first in part one of the AZ-900 series I'm doing, I went over describing cloud concepts, and that went over what is the cloud, the infrastructure as a service, the cloud types, public, private, stuff like that, right? And that's pretty much the first part of that part of the AZ-900, the cloud concepts. This is more what the architecture, the building blocks behind Azure are and its services. So for this one, we're gonna do the first part here, which I already completed during the week. So I'm kind of just going over this for you guys and myself. This benefits me as well. So just gonna read a little bit of it here, the beginning of this part two. This part two of the AZ-900. So new to the cloud, Microsoft Azure Fundamentals is a three-part series that teaches you basic cloud concepts, provides a streamlined overview of many Azure services, and guides you with hands-on exercises to deploy your very first services for free. Complete all of the learning paths in the series if you are preparing for the AZ-900 Microsoft Azure Fundamentals. This is the second learning path in the series, Azure Fundamentals, Describe Azure Architecture and Services. So let's go ahead and start. And it says describe the core architectural components of Azure. And it says this module explains the basic infrastructure components of Microsoft Azure. You'll learn about the physical infrastructure, how resources are managed, and have a chance to create an Azure resource. And it gives you an overview of what exactly is comprised in this module. So let's get started. Okay, so let's go. So it's telling you what the learning objectives are. Upon completion of this module, you will be able to describe Azure regions, region pairs, and sovereign regions, availability zones, data centers, resources and resource groups, subscriptions, manage groups, the hierarchy of resource group subscriptions, and management groups. So it's a lot there. So and it's also nice because it looks like it tells you this module is part of these learning paths. So if you were eventually going to get into the architectural design for the AZ-305, this is an important prerequisite. So, all right, so let's get in there. Going over that again, what you're going to learn from this. Okay, so let's. I won't watch the video because I don't want to get demonetized. I don't think I could be able to watch it, even though I'm reacting to it. So just be safe. I'm not watching the video, but I watched it already. It just kind of go over what is the fundamentals, what is Azure, and it could get a brief description under it. It says Azure is a continually expanding set of cloud services that help you meet current and future business challenges. Azure gives you the freedom to build, manage, and deploy applications on a massive global network using your favorite tools and frameworks. So just a little brief description. What does it offer? Be ready for the future. Continuous innovation from Microsoft supports your development today and your product visions for tomorrow. Build on your terms. You have choices. With a commitment to open source and support for all languages and frameworks, you can build how you want and deploy where you want. So it's kind of nice. It's consumption based. You build what you want, where you want it, how you want it, and then when you're not wanting it, you don't pay for it. So, um, operate hybrid seamlessly on premises, in the cloud, and at the edge. So like that little zinger there, I guess, Edge, Microsoft Edge, will meet you where you are. Integrate and manage your environments with tools and services designed for a hybrid cloud solution. Trust your cloud, get security from the ground up, backed by a team of experts and proactive compliance trusted by enterprises, governments, and startups. What can I do with Azure? Azure provides more than 100 services that enable you to do everything from running your existing applications on virtual machines to exploring new software paradigms, such as intelligent bots and mixed reality. Many teams start exploring the cloud by moving their existing applications to VMs, virtual machines, that run in Azure. Migrating your existing apps to VMs is a good start, but the cloud is much more than a different place to run your VMs. For example, Azure provides artificial intelligence and machine learning services that can naturally communicate with your users through vision, hearing, and speech. So notice that, because the vision, so the compute vision and stuff like that, and then learning, that's in the AI 900. It goes over that. I'm gonna do more on the AI 900 as soon as I'm done with the AZ-900. So if you're wondering why I haven't uploaded videos about that, I'm trying to get through this one first. So once I'm done with this, I'm gonna go back to doing the AI. But it also provides storage solutions that dynamically grow to accommodate massive amounts of data. Azure services enable solutions that aren't feasible without the power of the cloud. So that was just a uh, brief explanation of Azure. Okay, so get starting. So in this one, it has a picture and it says Azure account, your subscription, resource groups, and resources. So basically, it's going to explain to use anything in Azure, you need a subscription. So it says in the first line, when you're completing, so we'll go over this. When you're completing Learn modules, most of the time a temporary subscription is created for you, which runs in an environment called the Learn Sandbox. So these are my notes that I took for this, and I made sure to highlight this. When you're completing Learn modules, most of the time a temporary subscription a temporary subscription is created for you, which runs in an environment called the Learn Sandbox. So I didn't know about the Learn Sandbox, and I thought that was interesting. So I wrote, so it seems as though you can have one Azure account, but have multiple subscriptions. I'm guessing you are able to compartmentalize each subscription by their appropriate group, be it marketing, development. All the marketing resources will belong to the marketing subscription, and all the development resources will belong to the development subscription. So in this paragraph, it kind of goes over that. While you're working with your own applications and business needs, you need to create an Azure account, and a subscription will be created for you. After you've created an Azure account, you're free to create additional subscriptions. For example, your company might use a single Azure account for your business and separate subscriptions for development, marketing, and sales departments. After you've created an Azure subscription, you can start creating Azure resources within each subscription. So I kind of just added that, you can separate each of the different subscriptions for billing into invoice sections. So if we go back here, so it goes on the next page, but basically, it's saying what is the Azure free account, what does it include? So for example, if you create an Azure free account, free access to popular Azure products for 12 months, a credit to use for the first 30 days, access to more than 25 products that are always free. So I actually had the Azure free account. I used up the 30 days a while ago, and so when I want to do something, it sends me an email saying, "Hey, this is what you have utilized in your cloud, and this is your invoice." And for the most part, I haven't been billed any. It bills me, but it's $0 because I haven't used anything. But it still sends you a bill, and maybe I'll show that to you another time. But it even if you don't use anything that costs money, it still sends you an invoice because you went on Azure and it automatically sends it. So, um, but anyway, so what is the Microsoft Learn Sandbox? So I didn't know about this before, and I thought this was interesting. So many of the Learn exercises uses a technology called the Sandbox, which creates a temporary subscription that's added to your Azure account. This temporary subscription allows you to create Azure resources during a Learn module. So this is what I'm saying. It's kind of cool because if you wanted to use Azure but you felt kind of weary of maybe making an Azure account yourself. When you're doing these Learn modules, it does a temporary one for you, and it won't be billed. It's free. Um, it's open while you're using the Learn. So that's basically what it's saying. When you're completing a Learn module, you're welcome to use your personal subscription to complete the exercises in a module. However, the Sandbox is the preferred method to use because it allows you to create and test Azure resources at no cost to you. So another reason why, if you guys are just still thinking about utilizing this thing, is free. This Microsoft Learn, all of this stuff is free right now. So let's go to the next page. Okay, so here's the next part. So exercise, explore the Learn Sandbox. This module requires a sandbox to complete. A sandbox gives you access to free resources. Your personal subscription will not be charged. The sandbox may only be used to complete training on Microsoft Learn. Use for any other reason is prohibited and may result in permanent loss of access to the sandbox. Microsoft provides this lab experience and related content for educational purposes. All presented information is owned by Microsoft and intended solely for learning about the covered products and services in this Microsoft Learn module. So let's activate the sandbox. So it's going to go review needs your permission. So just this is real on the fly me doing this. So I just activated it. It's varying some stuff. So if you haven't already used the Activate Sandbox to activate the Learn Sandbox. If you receive a notice saying Microsoft Learn needs your permission to create Azure resource, use the review permission. So it's asking, do you want to do it? Because I think this is my personal Azure, and I'll delete the resources if it makes any, which is fine, so I won't get charged, but whatever. Once you approve the permissions, it's going to take a few minutes. So it's explaining. Task 1, use the PowerShell command line interface, or CLI. Once the sandbox launches, half the screen will be in PowerShell command line interface mode. If you're familiar with PowerShell, you can manage your Azure environments using PowerShell commands. So it looks like it's doing some stuff over here. Here's a screenshot of it, and now it's configuring my Cloud Shell. It's requesting it. By the way, you can request a Cloud Shell when you go to your Azure account and you go to your home page on the portal. On the top right, next to the right of the search bar, there's like the whole little rectangle search bar. There's a little icon that has like a little command line looking icon, and that's just the Cloud Shell. Okay, so it's building the Azure stuff. Okay, so here is my Cloud Shell. So it's saying you can manage your environment using Cloud Shell resources. You can tell you're in PowerShell mode by the PS before your directory. So if you notice that, the PS means PowerShell. Bash is the $. Well, it'll go over it. So use the PowerShell get command to get the current date and time. So let's enter that. Get date. Boom. Sunday, December 10th, 2023. The time is off because I believe it's pulling from a different region, but whatever. AZ version. So let's get the most Azure specific commands will start with the letters AZ. The get date command you just ran is a PowerShell specific command. Let's try an Azure command to check what version of the CLI you're using right now. So this is interesting. So see here, AZ is the prefix you're going to use for your commands that are Azure specific. PowerShell is different. So you're using the AZ or the Azure specific commands in PowerShell. So we're gonna put AZ, if I can spell, AZ version. So here you go. The CLI version is 2.55.0. The core 2.550. Telemetry 1.1, and these are extensions. AI examples 0.25. Machine Learning 2.2, Secure Shell 2.02. So those are all the versions. So task 2, use the bash CLI. If you're more familiar with bash, you can use bash command instead by shifting to the bash CLI. Enter bash to switch to bash. So simply enter bash. So this is what I was saying. So remember bash Linux, it starts with the root and the $sign. So again, use the get command. So this is going to be wrong, but because you don't use this in bash. So it says bash get date command not found. It's because it's a PowerShell command. You can't do that in bash. And it says you receive an error because get date is a PowerShell specific command. Use the date command to get the current date. So this is the bash command for date, and it's just date. See how it's written differently than PowerShell. So Sunday, December 10th, once again, the UTC time. So it's the central, whatever. Just like in the PowerShell mode of the CLI, you can use the letters AZ to start an Azure command in the bash mode. Try to run an update to the CLI with the AZ upgrade. So AZ upgrade. Oops, I have caps lock on. So it's doing a bunch of stuff. And hold on, I'm going to actually take a screenshot of this. Okay. I just made my thumbnail. But so just like in the PowerShell mode of the CLI, you can use so cannot update system extension. It updates in the next release. Okay, so it's basically saying can't update it because it's going to update in the next release. Okay, cool. Azure CLI interactive mode. So this is cool. This is like if you were, so you know, in like code you have like if you're using VS Code or something like that, it gives you like the auto completion, the assist tools and stuff. This is similar to that. Eric explains it. Another way to interact is using the Azure CLI interactive mode. This changes CLI behavior to more closely resemble an integrated development environment, like I was saying, an IDE. So interactive mode provides auto-completion, command descriptions, and even examples. If you're unfamiliar with Bash and PowerShell, but want to use the command line, interactive mode may help you. Enter AZ interactive mode, or interactive. So as you can see, it's starting here. Here, let's save my thumbnail real quick. Let's save it on the desktop so I know. Okay. Okay, so it's installing. This command is in preview under development, reference and support levels. It's asking, do you agree to sending telemetry? Yes. Okay, do you agree to a new recommender is added, which can make the completion ability more intelligent and provide the scenario completion. If you want to disable this feature, you can use azconfig set interactive.enable/recommender to false to disable it. A command preload mechanism was added to prevent lagging and command run errors. You can skip preloading in a simple pass by Control-C or turn it off by setting azconfig set interactive.enable underscore preloading to false. So I was just telling you, you can set these things to false if you want. Any of the preloading and stuff like that. I mean, that's the best part of it, is I guess, but some people may find it annoying. So, okay. So next part, decide whether you wish to send telemetry data. Yes or no. You may have to wait a minute or two to allow interactive mode to fully initialize. Then enter the letter A and auto completion. Then auto completions should start to work. So now it says loading command table, expected time around 1 minute. So it's still going. It's loading a couple of things here, it looks like. Try space or next to get command recommendations. I guess it's, it did it. My bad. So I entered the letter A, and you see it has a bunch of stuff here for A. Manage Azure Kubernetes services, AMS. Manage app configurations. So Active Directory, Graph Utilities. I wonder when they're going to change that to Entra ID. I guess they didn't do that. I guess they'll do it in the next update. Add AI-powered examples to help content. So I won't go into too many of this. I'll go into that in another video. This is kind of cool, but I'm just showing you that this is what interactive mode does. So let's say we did W, Q, E, exits the program, R, resource, manage Azure resources, stuff like that. All right, so once initialized, you can use the arrow keys or tab to help complete your commands. So interactive mode is set up specifically for Azure, so you don't need to enter AZ to start a command. So that's kind of important, I guess. You don't need to enter the AZ. So we'll write version, and it gives you the version. I wonder what happens if you still enter it, though. Oh, okay, it doesn't really matter. You just don't have to enter it. Upgrade. It's probably going to give me the same spiel. You already have the latest versions, so it can't update it. Okay, so exit. So basically, this little module part here was just showing you the sandbox, how to use it, what it can do. It's really nice. And it's going to say exit. So we'll exit that real quick. And we're kind of done with this part of the module, and we'll go to the next one. And what's up, guys? So I'm gonna cut it short here. What I kind of want to do is, in my first video, I kind of just put I put the entire part 1 of the AZ-900 module, the core concepts, in one video, and I didn't get to go over a little more thoroughly or in detail of the stuff covered in it. So moving forward, I kind of want to split the videos up a little. I'm gonna have them run maybe around the same time, 20 minutes, because I want to make them longer, but I don't want them to be too long. But I want to at least go over the things in a little more detail, and go over it more of like my reaction to doing it in there and everything, like I did with this one with the cloud shell, which was great. I wanted to definitely get that into this video and have like a real time experience of you or myself or whatever, someone else going into this stuff, right? So this video went over up to the cloud shell for the core architecture. The next part, I believe, is gonna go over. Let me just make sure it's gonna go over the physical Azure the architecture, so the regions and stuff. So it's gonna go over regions, region pairs, availability zones, and stuff like that in the next part. I'll make sure to get that up soon. So, but for now, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to check me out for the next one. And with that being said, let's go to this cloud. It's Duval, LeBlanc. Peace. Have a good week, guys.
For now, I have faith in love, and I'll owe it all to you. I took you out, had such a lovely time. We danced all night till sunshine.